Good morning, my friends. Today I want to wake you up, shake you up, because time is running and it's not slowing down for you, for me, or for anyone. How many times have you told yourself, this is my year, only to let another 365 days slip through your fingers? How many times have you set a goal, felt fired up, and then let distractions, fear, or excuses pull you off course? Listen to me. Enough is enough. You are not here to just exist. You are here to create, to grow, to push yourself beyond the limits you've been accepting. But most people, they wait, they hope, they say, I'll start next Monday, when I have more time, when I feel ready. Guess what? You will never feel ready. The stars will never align. The perfect moment will never come, because the only moment you truly have is right now. Time is running. Stop waiting for the right moment. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, next week will be better, or when I have more time, I'll finally go for it? This illusion of the right moment is one of the biggest traps that keeps people stuck in the same patterns year after year. Time is the one resource you can never get back, and yet, most people treat it as if it's unlimited. They waste days, weeks, even decades waiting for conditions to be perfect, believing that success, happiness, or change will come when circumstances align in their favor. But let me tell you the truth. There is no perfect moment. The idea that you need the right timing is nothing more than a psychological safety net, an excuse wrapped in logic that keeps you from stepping into uncertainty. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It will always try to keep you comfortable, to avoid risk, to seek what is familiar. This is why people spend their lives waiting until they feel motivated, waiting until they have more money, waiting until they get approval from others. But waiting is a silent thief. The more you wait, the weaker your momentum becomes. Think about it. How many opportunities have you let slip by because you told yourself, I'm not ready yet? How many experiences have you missed because you were afraid to start before you had all the answers? How many dreams have you put on hold because you convinced yourself that conditions weren't ideal? Look around. People everywhere are stuck in this endless loop of hesitation, telling themselves that they'll take action when the time is right. But years go by and they realize that the right time never came. And by then, it's too late. The reality is, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause while you overthink, hesitate, or analyze every possible outcome. The people who succeed, the ones who create extraordinary results, understand this. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They act despite uncertainty. They move forward even when they're scared. They take risks, knowing that growth happens in the process, not before it. The problem with waiting is that it creates a habit of delay. Every time you postpone action, you reinforce the pattern of procrastination. You teach your brain that avoidance is acceptable. Over time, this becomes your default behavior. You start applying it to everything: your goals, your relationships, your health, your finances. Before you know it, you're stuck in a life of hesitation, watching others move forward while you remain in the same place. People often say, but what if I fail? That's the wrong question. The real question is, what if I never even try? What if you wake up one day and realize that your best years are behind you and you never became the person you were meant to be? That regret is far more painful than any temporary failure, because failure at least means you tried. It means you learned, you grew, you evolved. But waiting leaves you with nothing. You don't need more time. You don't need more knowledge. You don't need more reassurance. You need to start right now with whatever you have, because time is running and it's not slowing down for you. Every second you waste is a second you will never get back. The only moment you truly have is now. Excuses and fear are stealing your potential. Excuses are the lies we tell ourselves to justify inaction. They are the chains that keep people trapped in mediocrity, preventing them from ever reaching their full potential. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they are doing it. They think their excuses are valid. They believe their reasons are real, but in reality, every excuse is just fear in disguise. Fear is the root of every excuse. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking stupid, fear of stepping outside your comfort zone. And because the mind is a master at self-preservation, it creates logical-sounding justifications to avoid discomfort. I don't have enough experience. I don't have the right connections. I'll start when things settle down. These sound reasonable, don't they? That's the trick. Excuses don't sound like excuses, they sound like facts. But let's break this illusion right now. If you say, I don't have enough experience, how do you get experience? By starting. If you say, I don't have the right connections, how do you build them? By putting yourself out there. If you say, I'll start when things settle down, guess what? Life will always be chaotic. There will never be a moment when everything is perfectly aligned. So if you keep using that excuse, you'll never start. Here's the truth. Successful people don't have fewer fears than you. They don't have fewer obstacles. They don't have more time, more money, or more resources than you. The only difference is they refuse to let excuses control them. They feel the fear, acknowledge it, and move forward anyway. They understand that fear is a signal, not a stop sign. Your potential is limitless. You are capable of more than you can imagine. But every excuse you make, every time you let fear dictate your actions, you are stealing from yourself. You are robbing yourself of the life you could be living. You are settling for a fraction of what you were meant to achieve. Think about the last time you made an excuse. Be honest, what was it? I'm too tired. I don't have time. I don't know where to start. Now ask yourself, was that the real reason, or was it fear disguised as logic? If you had pushed through, could you have made progress? Could you have taken one small step? The answer is almost always yes. But instead you gave in to the voice of fear and it stole a little more of your potential. Excuses are seductive because they make us feel safe. They let us avoid failure, embarrassment, and discomfort, but they also keep us trapped in a cycle of stagnation. Every time you choose comfort over progress, you reinforce the habit of playing small, and that habit compounds over time. Years go by and you realize you're still in the same place, wondering where all your dreams went. The good news? You can break the cycle. You can choose to stop listening to excuses and start demanding more from yourself. You can acknowledge your fears without letting them control you. You can take action even when it's uncomfortable. Fear and excuses will always be there, but they only have power if you let them. The moment you decide to stop feeding them, they begin to lose their grip. And when you stop making excuses, you open the door to a level of success, fulfillment, and potential you never thought possible. You will never feel ready to take action now. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they need to feel ready before they start. They believe that before they take action, they must have complete confidence, all the necessary knowledge, and a perfect plan. But the truth is, readiness is an illusion. If you wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. The people who succeed at the highest level are not the ones who had everything figured out before they began. They are the ones who took action despite uncertainty. They jumped in, learned on the go, and figured things out along the way. Most people never start because they are waiting for a feeling that will never come. They think that one day they will wake up with total clarity, with zero fear, and with a perfect roadmap to success. That's not how life works. Readiness is not a requirement for action. Action is what creates readiness. Confidence comes from experience, and experience only comes from doing. The first time you try something new, you will feel uncomfortable. You will doubt yourself. You will question whether you're capable, but that's exactly why you must start. Growth happens in the doing, not in the waiting. Fear is the biggest reason people delay action. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear is not a reason to stop. It's a sign that you're stepping into something meaningful. The most successful people in the world still feel fear. The difference is they move forward anyway. They understand that fear is part of the process. They don't let it paralyze them. They don't let it dictate their choices. Think about all the things you've wanted to do but never did because you didn't feel ready. How much further along would you be if you had just started? How much progress could you have made if you had ignored the voice in your head telling you to wait? The longer you delay, the harder it becomes. The more you hesitate, the more your mind reinforces the habit of inaction. But the moment you decide to act, everything shifts. Your brain starts adapting, your confidence grows. You realize that you never needed to feel ready, you just needed to begin. Settling for less leads to lifelong regret. Most people go through life accepting less than they truly want. They settle in their careers, in their relationships, in their health, and their dreams. They tell themselves that good enough is fine, that they shouldn't ask for more, that it's too late to change. But deep down, they know the truth. They know they were meant for more. They know they have untapped potential inside them. And yet, they stay stuck in comfort, convincing themselves that they are satisfied. The reason people settle is fear. Fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of stepping into the unknown. They choose certainty over possibility, even if that certainty means living a life that doesn't truly fulfill them. They silence the voice inside them that craves more because they believe that wanting more is unrealistic or selfish. But settling is the most dangerous decision you can make. It leads to a slow, silent kind of regret, the kind that creeps in over time, whispering, "What if?" Think about the people who look back on their lives and wish they had taken more chances, chased their dreams, or lived with more passion. Their regret isn't about what they did, it's about what they didn't do. They regret the risks they never took, the opportunities they let pass, the version of themselves they never became. Because once time is gone, you don't get it back. The worst feeling in the world is realizing that you played it safe when you had the chance to play it big. Settling doesn't just rob you of success, it steals your happiness. When you live below your potential, a part of you always feels unfulfilled. You may try to ignore it, but it's always there. The frustration, the restlessness, the quiet knowing that you are meant for something greater. And the longer you settle, the harder it becomes to break free. The patterns become habits, and the habits become your reality. But here's the truth. You don't have to settle. You don't have to accept less than you deserve. You don't have to live a life of what ifs. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you can't have more. The moment you decide to stop settling, to demand more from yourself, to refuse to accept anything less than extraordinary, everything changes. Decide today to raise your standards. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. The quality of your relationships, your career, your health, your finances, everything comes down to what you are willing to accept. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they tolerate less than they deserve. They settle for average. They make excuses for why things aren't changing instead of demanding more from themselves. If you don't raise your standards, life will give you whatever you're willing to put up with. If you accept procrastination, you'll always struggle with discipline. If you accept mediocre effort, you'll always get mediocre results. If you accept negative people in your life, you'll always be surrounded by doubt and limitations. Everything shifts the moment you decide that good enough is no longer enough, that you will no longer tolerate excuses, half effort, or anything that doesn't align with the life you truly want. When you commit to a higher standard, you force yourself to grow. You start making different choices, taking different actions, surrounding yourself with different people, and suddenly the things that once felt impossible start becoming your reality. Your future is built by the actions you take in this moment. Most people live in two places, the past and the future. They dwell on regrets, mistakes, and missed opportunities, or they fantasize about the life they want someday. But what they fail to realize is that the only thing that matters is right now. The future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create with the choices you make today. Every decision, every action, every habit you build is shaping the person you are becoming. The problem is most people underestimate the power of small actions. They think success is about one massive breakthrough, one big moment that changes everything. But real success is built in the day-to-day decisions, the ones that seem insignificant in the moment, but compound over time. Skipping one workout doesn't seem like a big deal, but do it enough times and you lose your health. Putting off one important task feels harmless, but keep doing it and you fall behind. Just like how one powerful choice can create unstoppable momentum, one moment of hesitation can set you back. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck or talent. It's the willingness to take action now, to do the uncomfortable thing, to push forward even when it's hard. So, here's the truth. You don't have to settle. You don't have to accept less than you deserve. You don't have to live a life of what ifs. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you can't have more. The moment you decide to stop settling, to demand more from yourself, to refuse to accept anything less than extraordinary, everything changes. The only moment that matters is right now. This is your time, this is your life, so make the decision, raise your standards, stop waiting, take action, and never look back. You've got one shot at this life. Make it count. If you got value from this, make sure you subscribe to Tony Robbins' track for more life-changing content. Now get out there and go make it happen. Success is not just about mindset and strategy, it's about energy. Without the right energy, even the best plans will fall apart. Energy is the fuel that drives action, the force that determines whether you push forward or stay stuck. The difference between people who execute at the highest level and those who struggle isn't just talent or intelligence, it's the level of energy they bring to everything they do. High energy equals high performance. If you want to achieve more, you need to elevate your energy. Your physical body is the foundation of your energy. Most people operate in a constant state of exhaustion, fueled by poor nutrition, lack of movement, and chronic stress. They wake up tired, rely on caffeine to get through the day, and wonder why they can't stay motivated. But if your body isn't optimized, your mind won't be either. Peak performance starts with taking care of your body. Food is fuel. Everything you eat either gives you energy or drains it. If you're filling your body with processed junk, sugar, and empty calories, you're operating at a fraction of your potential. If you want sustained energy, you need to feed your body the right nutrients: lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbs, and plenty of water. Hydration alone can transform your energy levels. Most people walk around dehydrated, not realizing that even mild dehydration leads to fatigue, brain fog, and lack of focus. Movement is another critical factor. The human body was designed to move, yet most people spend their days sitting at a desk, sitting in a car, sitting on the couch, and then they wonder why they feel sluggish and uninspired. Exercise isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good. It releases endorphins, increases blood flow, and enhances brain function. Even just a few minutes of movement can shift your energy instantly. The key is to make it a habit. Whether it's lifting weights, running, yoga, or even just walking, movement must be a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. But energy isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, if you're surrounded by people who drain you, if you allow stress to dominate your thoughts, your energy will suffer. Protecting your mental energy is just as important as taking care of your body. This means setting boundaries, eliminating toxic influences, and actively filling your mind with inspiration, learning, and growth. The content you consume, the conversations you have, and the thoughts you entertain all impact your energy levels. Another key to maintaining high energy is managing stress effectively. Stress is one of the biggest energy killers, and in today's world, most people live in a constant state of stress. The problem isn't stress itself, it's how you handle it. Learning how to control your breath, shift your focus, and train your mind to stay calm under pressure can completely change your energy. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness aren't just trendy, they are scientifically proven to reduce stress and boost mental clarity. Sleep is another area most people neglect. You cannot operate at your peak if you're running on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Your body needs rest to recover, your brain needs rest to function, and your performance depends on it. High achievers don't see sleep as a luxury, they see it as a strategy. Getting quality sleep, optimizing your sleep environment, and having a nighttime routine can make the difference between waking up exhausted and waking up ready to dominate the day. Adapt and overcome success is never a straight path. It's filled with unexpected challenges, obstacles, and moments that test your resilience. Most people see setbacks as stop signs, but those who achieve greatness understand that challenges are simply part of the process. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's the ability to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward no matter what. Life will throw curveballs, the economy will shift, plans will fall apart, but the one thing you always control is how you respond. The most successful people are not those who avoid problems, but those who face them head on. They don't waste time complaining about what went wrong, they immediately shift into solution mode. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to my advantage? This mindset shift is the key to resilience. When you stop seeing problems as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to grow, you become unstoppable. Most people get stuck because they are attached to a specific way of doing things. They create a plan, and when it doesn't work, they get frustrated, discouraged, and quit. But the truth is, no plan survives first contact with reality. You must be flexible, willing to pivot, and constantly learning. If one approach isn't working, try another. If one door closes, find another way in. Those who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who refuse to give up. Embracing uncertainty is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Most people fear the unknown, so they stay in their comfort zones, avoiding risks and missing opportunities. But the greatest rewards are always on the other side of uncertainty. When you train yourself to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, you build the kind of mental toughness that allows you to thrive in any situation. Confidence isn't built by avoiding challenges. It's built by facing them, overcoming them, and proving to yourself that you can handle anything. Your ability to adapt is directly linked to your ability to learn. The most successful people are lifelong learners. They read, they study, they seek mentorship, and they constantly refine their skills. The moment you think you have all the answers is the moment you start falling behind. The world is constantly evolving, industries change, markets shift, and new technologies emerge. Those who stay ahead are the ones who are willing to evolve with it. If you want to win, you have to commit to growth, to constantly improving, to becoming better every single day. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to adapt. If you're surrounded by people who resist change, who complain about challenges instead of finding solutions, you will absorb that mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who thrive under pressure, who embrace obstacles, who push forward no matter what, you will adopt that same mentality. Success is contagious, but so is failure. Who you surround yourself with will either elevate you or hold you back. The truth is, obstacles are not there to stop you. They are there to shape you. Every challenge is an opportunity to develop a new skill, build resilience, and become stronger. The faster you learn to embrace this truth, the faster you accelerate your success. The greatest breakthroughs come from the toughest challenges. Celebrate, then scale. Most people make the mistake of constantly chasing the next goal without ever acknowledging their progress. They hit a milestone and immediately shift their focus to the next target. While ambition is crucial, failing to celebrate your wins can drain your energy, kill your motivation, and make success feel empty. Acknowledging your progress isn't about slowing down. It's about reinforcing the habits and mindset that got you there in the first place. Success is built on momentum, and momentum is built by stacking small wins. When you recognize and celebrate your progress, you train your brain to associate effort with reward. This is how you sustain motivation for the long haul. If you're always focused on what's next without ever appreciating what you've accomplished, you create a cycle of dissatisfaction where nothing ever feels like enough. But when you take the time to acknowledge how far you've come, you build the emotional fuel needed to keep pushing forward. Celebration isn't about throwing a party for every small victory. It's about consciously recognizing your growth. It's about reflecting on what worked, what lessons you learned, and how you can build on that success. When you achieve a goal, don't just move on. Analyze it. What actions led to this result? How can you replicate it on a larger scale? Success leaves clues, and if you take the time to study your own wins, you create a blueprint for even greater achievements. Most people think success is about one big breakthrough, but it's really about mastering the process. Once you've proven that you can achieve a certain level of success, the next step is scaling it. Scaling isn't just about doing more, it's about doing things smarter, more efficiently, and with greater impact. If you've built a skill, how can you leverage it? If you've created a business, how can you expand it? If you've developed a system that works, how can you optimize it to produce even greater results? Scaling requires shifting your mindset from working harder to working smarter. Most people get stuck because they try to do everything themselves. But true growth comes from leveraging people, systems, technology, and resources. The highest achievers don't just work more hours. They find ways to multiply their efforts. They delegate, automate, and build teams that amplify their impact. If you're spending time on low-value tasks, you're limiting your potential. The key to scaling is focusing on what moves the needle the most and eliminating everything else. One of the biggest mistakes people make when scaling is losing sight of the fundamentals. They achieve success and start cutting corners, assuming they no longer need to do the things that got them there. But the truth is, the fundamentals never stop mattering. Whether you're at the beginning or scaling to the highest level, the habits, discipline, and work ethic that created success must remain in place. Growth is not about abandoning what works, it's about doubling down on it while optimizing and expanding. Another key to scaling is maintaining hunger. Many people slow down once they achieve a certain level of success. They get comfortable, complacent, and stop pushing themselves. But those who truly achieve greatness never stop striving for more. They are constantly raising the bar, setting new challenges, and pushing beyond their limits. They don't settle because they understand that success is not a destination, it's a continuous process of growth, evolution, and expansion. Scaling isn't just about business or finances. It applies to every area of life. If you've improved your health, how can you take it to the next level? If you've strengthened your relationships, how can you deepen them even further? If you've mastered a skill, how can you leverage it to create even greater impact? Growth is a lifelong game, and those who keep playing at the highest level are the ones who never stop pushing forward. That's it. That's the game plan. You now have everything you need to transform your life in the next 6 months. But here's the deal. Information alone does nothing. Execution is everything. You can sit here, nod your head, and feel inspired, or you can take massive, relentless action and make it happen. The choice is yours. Success is not for the lucky. It's for the committed, the disciplined, the ones who refuse to settle, the ones who don't just listen to this message, but live it. So go out there and make it happen. Take control of your mind, master your energy, show up with unshakable discipline, adapt to every obstacle, and scale your success beyond what you ever imagined. This is your time. This is your moment. No more waiting, no more excuses. It's time to step into the next level. I'll see you at the top, and remember, this is Tony Robbins Traction, where we turn motivation into transformation. Now go make it happen.